Hi everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Pointers with the Pros, where we sit down with dustless blasting professionals from all over the country and talk all things dustless blasting. I'm Kaylin Starr.
And I'm Jeff Jenkins, and today we're going to be talking to one of our successful contractors out there. His name's Patrick Grimes, and he's from Pro Blast of South Florida. We're going to be kind of asking him about what his background is and how he got plugged into the dustless blasting business and what made him so successful.
I was a general contractor for a little over 20 years, remodeling and repairing homes and buildings. Scoured the Google web for a couple years, trying to figure out what to buy and what to do. And one day I came across Dustless Blasting and it caught my attention, and I probably researched it for a good 6 to 8 months before I decided this is what I want to do.
Wow, have you ever had any experience with like sandblasting or anything like that specifically before?
Sandblasting, no, absolutely no experience. I'm not even sure if I've ever seen it in person with all the job sites that I've been on. But with my background, actually with anyone's background, I think anyone can learn it in a matter of weeks.
Yeah, and Jeff, I'm really glad that Patrick touched on how easy it was to use our equipment, because I think that's something that people ask a lot is, if I've never been in this business, if I've never sandblasted before, how long is it actually going to take me to get comfortable using the equipment and go out on jobs? And so I thought that was really interesting because Patrick is so busy, and I thought he was going to tell me that he had experience before, but he said he had never even seen sandblasting done in person before he purchased a machine from us. So that was really cool to hear that it only took him a few weeks to feel comfortable once he bought his machine, going out there and taking on jobs alone.
Yeah, and that's one of our biggest goals here at Dustless Blasting. It's just to show people that you don't need to have any experience within the industry. We have everything you need in order to start the business. We have all the training videos, all the guides, we have everything you need. But we'll touch on that a little bit later on in this video. But yeah, it was really surprising to see how he started from nothing and got started right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that Patrick is experiencing now, he's actually in a unique situation where he's having to train other people on his machine. So it's not just him anymore. His business has grown so much that he's hired a crew and he is having to train them on his equipment. So I'm going to let him tell us a little bit about what that experience has been like.
I don't have time to be with my crew, but we do training for 90 days before we set. We have a 90-day training, and before we set people out. But to train them, I can actually train them on the equipment in a matter of hours. But I know after the first day, they've already forgotten about it. So within a week, they're already powering up and powering down. They're putting all the hoses together. The only thing that takes a little bit longer, not a lot longer, but a little bit longer is to adjust the pressures and the media flow and the different types of media based on whatever we're blasting. So that's why anybody that works for me goes through a 90-day training.
And we know working at Dustless Blasting, we know that training a crew is so important. Once your business grows, it's crucial to have other people who can support you and take over, go out on a job alone and manage the machine. And Patrick actually said that it's super easy to teach people how to blast. He can train them on the machine in a matter of hours. They'll know how to turn it on and off. They'll know how to connect the blast hoses. They'll know how to blast. He said the difficult part for most people, though, is actually making those important decisions once they get out onto a job and knowing, okay, what media do I need to use for this job? Or what nozzle do I need to use? Or what pressure do I need to use? He said that is by far the most challenging part for his crew.
Yeah, and that's why we've created our Dustless Blasting Academy, is to give you all the tools you need. So that's from how to turn on and off your machine all the way down to what type of media to use. We just try to put everything in that academy that someone would need to know to be successful in this business.
Exactly, and we do understand that every job is different, right? So you're going to constantly be adjusting your media, your nozzles, your pressures if you want to stay productive. You can't do the same thing when you go out to every job. And so that is why the Academy is such an important tool that we want you guys to make sure that you know about. But also something that Patrick touched on was he truly sees all of the Dustless Blasting business owners as a community.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know, whenever you do purchase a machine from us, you get plugged into a private Facebook Contractors group. And what that allows you to see is it allows you to see other contractors' jobs, some pictures they posted, what kind of media they used on those jobs, and they even post different tips and tricks that kind of help them out along the way. And just to let you know, Patrick Grimes is very active on that Facebook group. Let's go ahead and see why.
I want to share everything I can with this group because I want where I failed to help them out so they don't fail. I really do. I mean, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars and countless man hours to learn what I've learned. And the biggest thing is, the hardest thing for me is not doing the blasting. The hardest part is the estimate. And we get some complicated estimates. One of my biggest estimates today was $1 million. And when you know nothing about sandblasting and you have a little DB500 and you're called to the CEMEX factory in Miami and they say, Mr. Grimes, we want our whole plant blasted. And I'm just scratching my head, how the hell do I estimate this? For me to hook up one of the rigs, get to the client, set up some containments and put some media and blast, I can teach a kid to do that. So when I share videos and photos, I don't care who uses them because I want everybody in the Dustless Blasting group to really succeed. We're all here for one reason, and it's to own a part of the Dustless Blasting business and just do good for our families.
And we think it is so awesome that Patrick is constantly sharing his experiences in the contractors group. I mean, they love him. He is definitely a fan favorite, I would say. And we think it's really sweet how he is so eager to help other blasters. And it's funny, he mentioned to me that, he first bought our DB500 trailer. And that, for those of you who don't know, that is our smallest trailer that you can purchase. And so he showed up to $1 million job when he had first gotten his trailer. And so that was quite an overwhelming experience for him that he was glad he got to share with you guys. But he definitely didn't see his business taking off in the direction that it did.
Patrick has landed so many big jobs and he's even taken off in the industrial industry. So his goals and visions have completely changed since he started. Let's kind of hear how his business has transformed.
My goals certainly have changed. I bought this business for myself and my son. My son is now 16, and I figured it would be something him and I would do together and just go out and make money, work our own hours and make enough money and then go home for the day. But it went a opposite direction. I now have multiple rigs and multiple employees, and we're traveling the East Coast of Florida and only getting bigger. Well, again, in the beginning, I thought we were just going to be doing small stuff, cars, tractor parts, odds and ends. But now the way my business is going, we are taking on anything. Our projects on a daily basis range anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000. And we also have bigger projects. It seems like we're going more after the commercial and industrial work, although we are getting a lot of calls for your standard concrete driveways, pool decks, patios, and things like this. So I won't turn away any business so long as they pay my price. I got a call to go look at old Kmart building. They want to remove 23,000 square feet of paint. And so, when you get those kind of numbers and those kind of commercial calls, I drove 8 hours for a 30-minute meeting. I submitted the quote, and I believe the quote is somewhere around the $85,000 mark. So for me driving 8 hours, I'll drive 8 hours. I'm very happy with the way things are going. I probably took on a little bit more than I should have, but I'm the type of person that I won't say no, and I love a challenge. That's why I love your guys' quotation thing, what's your challenge? Because sometimes we're faced with some challenges that no one else wants, or no other blaster around us will take on the challenge, and we always step up to the plate. So I'm happy that I bought into this business. I wouldn't trade it now for the world. If I could go back to the beginning and start fresh from buying a rig from you guys, I probably would have bought the biggest rig you have. I thought me buying my little DB500 and I was just going to go make some money, but now I feel like I need a DB 1 million.
And that really is the cool thing about this business, I think. Personally, I think it's so neat how he just kept saying yes to opportunities, and that just totally transformed his business. So he was someone who thought, I'll just stick to the residential industry, right? Like, I'll take on some pools, some decks, some driveways. And now, he's quoting and landing six-figure jobs for huge commercial companies. And I mean, we just think that's so awesome. So go you, Patrick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We always tell people, don't put limits on your success. There really are no limits. If you want to do the small weekend jobs, we got the machines for that. But if you want to move into those industrial industries where you can land huge jobs, we have the products to support you there as well.
Absolutely. And so I asked Patrick to, give us some advice. Let's say if you're someone who has never been in this industry, or maybe you just got your machine, what is some advice that, you would like to give fellow blasters? And so here's what Patrick had to say to you guys.
Just stick with it. I'm part of the social media site, obviously, that you guys own. And I just think people are expecting it to happen overnight. It's not going to. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of money. And if you're persistent and you just keep at it, you're going to get that phone to ring. In the beginning, my wife and I, we did everything to get that phone to ring. Everything. We tried every avenue of marketing. We spent thousands of dollars. And now we feel we've created a monster because the phone won't shut up.
Now, Patrick had so much great advice for you guys that we couldn't fit it into one episode. So he will be back on August 15th for our second episode. And he's going to dive a little bit deeper into blasting topics. So anything from maintenance to blasting techniques and all that good stuff. So you won't want to miss it.
Yeah, you won't want to miss our second episode of Pointers with the Pros. We're going to go over various blasting subjects and different tips and tricks. But if you have any comments or questions, just leave them in the comment section down below.
We hope this series is so beneficial to you guys, so make sure you tune in on August 15th for Pointers with the Pros. We'll have Patrick back on, like we said, and in the meantime, visit dustlessblasting.com for any questions that you have about our products, and we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.